Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to A Flair for Toys. But this is the show, Beef Tips and Topics. Now, this is where we may tell you different tips on stuff, where to buy something, what to wait on. Plus, we bring out other stuff, topics. We may be talking wrestling, we may be talking action figures. But right now, today, we are talking the differences and comparisons between Hasbro Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse McFarlane. Now, what I'm going to go over with you, I'm going to show you some figures, some good, some bad, some middle of the road. Going to tell you my thoughts on where it could be better. And before I really get started, I want to say right now to Hasbro and McFarlane, I think you are getting better. I think both companies are. There's always still things you can work on, but I think they are getting better. We're moving along the cloth good capes and different stuff like that. Um, but we're gonna get in to the do's, the don'ts, the plus, the minuses, and all that in between. So if you want to come join me live, you can. If not, this will post in 12 hours, so it will be up tomorrow. You can come catch it if you don't get to watch it all or anything like that. So we're just going to jump into it. We can start with Hasbro or DC, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're going to go back and forth. I'll show you some, but I'm going to tell you at first some of my thoughts. My plus for the Hasbro is I like the size. The round 6 inch size for action figures, that is what I like. The Mattel size, the Hasbro size. The McFarlane to me, I think is just a little too big. I think their legs look a little long. But we'll show some comparisons. I brought some good figures, some terrible figures. But just right off the bat, we'll compare this Batman, which here's some of the good. We're getting to the soft good capes with the bendy wire. And, sometimes I don't mind if they give the ones without the bendy wire. I think we all like the bendy wire, but sometimes it's nice to get one that doesn't have it. But here's the size comparison, guys. If you can see right there. So like almost a full inch. I just like this size of figure better than I do this size. Now, I know there's inbox collectors. There's out-of-box collectors. I used to be an inbox collector. Now, to be honest, if you're an inbox collector, besides the Marvel retro cards, I think the DC Multiverse look really good in the package. Like, here's an example. And this is a platinum right here. They look really good in the box. And to me, with the articulation and not the size that I really like, I think you should probably keep these in box. Hey, what's good, Chris? Hey, Povo, welcome in. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Y'all can give me your thoughts between Marvel, DC, the good and the bad, but I'm going to give you mine. Another thing, except for some of these figures that I did bring over here, like this one. Actually, I brought 3 terrible ones from Hasbro Marvel Legends. Now, these 2 are from the movie waves. Are from the Disney Plus waves. Nick Fury and Agatha Harkness. This is just a big old hunk of rubber and plastic. You cannot do anything with this. The only reason she probably stands up is because of all that hunk of junk plastic behind her. Yes, the bendy wire capes are great. But this, what can you do with this? You can't even barely move her hands up or her head even with all that hair. So this is basically just a statue. Now, I would expect more from McFarlane on that end. This one, same thing. With this coat, you can't do... What are you going to do? You can't kick nobody. So unless you're just posing them as statues, there's not really much you can do. And the last example is this cloak, which I know those ain't too old. Those are about a little over a year old. This one's probably 5 or 6 years old. But look at this thing. This big old rubber thing right here. No good. But we are starting to get away from that. So we're not here to dog either company. We're just here to talk about the good, the bad, the differences. Now, honestly, if I had to pick and I could only do one, Marvel or DC, I'll be honest, I'm going Marvel. One, I'm more connected to the Marvel side than the DC. Uh, and I just like the articulation better. But let's just keep it with Hasbro now, and then we'll jump into McFarlane. Now, they give us good figures with good wings and stuff sometimes, right? This is from the new movie. Now, no spoilers if you have seen this movie, because we're going to go see it this weekend, hopefully. But really good figure right here. Another example of a great figure is they finally made a right-size Sabretooth. Now, this thing is just amazing, guys. This is what we need from Hasbro. Now, did we need it in a 2-pack? No. That's my other complaint. Why do we always have to get one figure that we really wanted, and then you put something else to go with it? Most of the time, another Wolverine. We did not need 4 Wolverine 2-packs this past year. But I'm just saying, if you disagree, you can put it in the comments. But they are doing some good things. This is a great Sabretooth, one of my favorite figures, and one of my favorite villains as well. Another thing, I like their paint applications. Not that DC is really bad, but I don't know. There's something about between a DC figure and a Marvel figure. And both of these pop pretty good, but I don't know. You tell me. And maybe it is just the size that throws me off. Maybe that extra inch, it just throws the whole thing off. Yeah, and I know that. It's all about the money. The same way with using the same body molds, but all companies do that. It's fine to use it a couple times. I know you want to get your money. Now let's get to some other things with Hasbro. Now, Hasbro does these things. If you're not familiar, they do things called Build-A-Figure waves, which they give you like 7 figures in the wave, 6 of them make the Build-A-Figure. Now, granted, they are usually pretty decent Build-A-Figures. This is one of them. This is Chode. It's a pretty good figure, you know. But to me, I really wish they would kind of get away from the Build-A-Figure, because there's always 1 or 2 figures in that you don't really want, or it's like a remake of a Captain America or an Iron Man. So why not just give us a deluxe figure like this for about a $35 price point? But I know, once again, then you couldn't sell all those other figures. But I think the Build-A-Figure thing should go away, honestly. You're still making enough. You don't need it. The retro cards here are great. I mean, especially on card. If you're going to collect any Marvel in the box, these are the ones you want to do. The Spider, especially that next wave that's coming out that looks like the comic book waves with like Adam Warlock is the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that. Really cool stuff. Now, do we wish we'd get more than just a pair of hands in there? Yes. But I doubt we're really ever going to get that. But I think doing away with the Build-A-Figure and just giving us a deluxe figure is okay. Now, we know you're going to price some of them 40, 45, 50. What we pay 60 for the Jean Grey, I think. But, you know, hey, if you actually like the character, they are usually pretty good. Like this Venom Pool. For people who didn't get the Build-A-Figure, they re-released this, just like they did with the Blob. They re-released these figures, and we could go out and get them. And I never had to build a figure of this, or the blob, so I was glad to be able to get these. Now I don't really remember the price point. I think it was what, $39.99 if I'm not mistaken. But for that figure, I don't mind paying it. You know, I think it was what, 30 or 35 for this Red Hulk. I don't mind paying it. Okay. Now I tell you what I don't like paying for, Hasbro. What I don't like paying for is when, for a regular figure, you charge $25. Okay, that's fine. But then you want to sell me this same guy here for $25? Come on, man. Really, Hasbro? You want to sell me this Rocky Raccoon with a Build-A-Figure piece for $25? Come on, man. But yeah, I paid it, but I ain't happy about it. Well, I didn't with this one. I got this one on clearance. It was like $7. But this one, I had bought the whole wave. Come on, man. But some of the Build-A-Figures, like the Chode, even this figure, the Stature, decent Build-A-Figure. I don't mind the Build-A-Figures much, but we end up getting, not necessarily some crappy stuff, but we end up getting a lot of figures that we may not want. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the retro card, which I think I went ahead and got the Spider-Boy. I don't even know if I'm going to get the female Electra for sure. I know on the last wave that came out, I passed on the Miles Morales and somebody else because I didn't think I really needed them, but I did get the other 4. But it's good to be able to just purchase those and know you don't have to try to complete something to get a Build-A-Figure. You know? Now, here's some of the... They have a lot of issues with women figures, okay? Especially with the standing. This one, I had her sitting down because she does not hardly stand for anything. But this Spider-Woman... But they are getting better. I'll show you. We got this Yelena Belova, which is about a year old probably. But man, just look at the difference. Just in the articulation itself, everything overall. Another thing that Hasbro needs to get rid of. And see, stands up fine. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Double G. And another thing Hasbro has to get rid of is these clown feet. Look at them feet. There's no way we should be making figures with them kind of feet no more. Okay? And just, I brought this one up here just to ask y'all, but this dude right here, this is Corsair. But doesn't this look like Ben Stiller from Dodgeball? Or is it just me? You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I don't know. That's what I see every time I look at him. And now this figure, this is a really good figure. This is Kazar. But the reason I'm showing Kazar, this is what we had as a Build-A-Figure wave. We had an animal as the Build-A-Figure. Now don't get me wrong, this figure is great. But why we couldn't have got this by itself for 15, 20 bucks, you know? It does look like Ben Stiller from Dodgeball. I know it. But this figure, this is what I wanted to bring out to compare to DC. This is a DC animal. This is Hound that came with the Batman. This thing has no articulation whatsoever. It's just like them old toys you used to buy when you was a kid for like 50 cents, 25 or $1. You know, they'd all be sitting at the little dollar stores, little zebras and stuff. That's what that is. That's a paperweight. This is an animal, bruh. Look, the toes move, the arm bends, the mouth rotates right here. Mouth opens and closes. The dang tail even moves. That's how you make an animal figure. So, I overall whole thing discussion, in my opinion, for an out of box collector, I have to go with Marvel Legends. Now, I still like the DC stuff. As you can tell, I still buy it. But I think I'm going to cut back. They make a lot of characters that I don't really know that much about, but they still look cool. But let's get to the good and the bad, the ups and downs of the DC Multiverse. I actually got to find this piece that I dropped in the floor. Now, another thing I tell everybody is attention to detail with these figures, guys. Hey, welcome in. Now, this figure, I used to like, almost said the Texas Tornado, but Red Tornado, right? They come up with this cool diorama piece that he could stand on, right? But this dude does not hardly stand up on this thing. It falls everywhere, knocks my figures over. Come on, man. You gotta test this stuff and get it right, man. But still a good figure. But this is when they were still using the heavy rubber capes and stuff like that. But that's supposed to be the little tornado right there. Make sure to keep the comments, guys, coming. Keep the questions coming. Keep the likes coming. And we'll finish this thing out. Now, this is the Batman that came with the Ace Hound. This is a really good Batman. Now, some of them have different shoulder swivels. These still have pins. These are not pinless. Some of the Marvel Legends nowadays are pinless. So that's a plus there. But it just kind of looks kind of gaudy when you look at the figure and you see the pins right there. You see what I'm saying? But a really good cape. Got the cloth goods cape. You can repose it, you know, however you want him. Like he's jumping down. Woo! You know, it kind of floats or whatever. They need to work better on the ab crunch. Both companies. They do pretty good with side to side and the back crunch. But why they can't get the ab crunch better, I don't understand. But you do get plenty of splits out of him. You get good knee bends. We can bend the leg almost all the way back. But it's just the height that really gets me. And yes, they are making a little better articulation on some. Some look really good, but here's what I want to get into. They do the Build-A-Figure pieces too. They also do exclusive pieces. This was a 2-pack with a Detective Batman. This guy, now this wasn't a Build-A-Figure. This was a Build-A-Figure. But I have the same issue. The right arm does not want to bend. So I'm having to put heat on it or put it in hot water just to get it to even bend. Come on, we got to get better with that. I know we don't want our stuff all loose, but we got to be able to move it. This was Batman and Ace Hound. Not exactly sure. I mean, it kind of looks like the Nightfall, but it's not. We do have the Nightfall Batman. Now, this is a deluxe figure. Now, this one, I had a little issue with the arms being able to bend on it, too. So, they got to work on that. But the shoulder joints, look at them big shoulder joints. Man, that is really good right there. Now, this is the Doomsday Kryptonite figure. Kryptonite Doomsday. Which this is a figure that I didn't think I needed until I saw it in the store. Kind of reminds me of the Predator. But it's really good. Now, this is a Build-A-Figure that they did do pretty well. And this is Beast Boy. Now, in this one, the one thing I do like about McFarlane on their Build-A-Figures is they usually only have 4 figures. So you only have to buy 4 figures to be able to finish this. To where Hasbro, you got to at least buy 6. You don't always have to get the 7th one because one figure always comes with no Build-A-Figure piece in it. So that's the ins and outs of Build-A-Figure game. Now, when we get down to price point, until Hasbro gets this maximum thing going, which we'll talk about that as well. They're normally about the same price point. But you can look on there, you can find deals and stuff. But most of the big figures, deluxe figures, they usually run in about 35. Now, if you get the 2 packs, around 60, 70, stuff like that. I think the Kilowog and Green Lantern was 70. Bane and Batman was 70. But most of the time, except for maybe the Bane and Batman, which it might have went down some too. But if you check Amazon periodically, and maybe even Big Bad Toy Store, some stuff like that, they do actually drop the prices. This one, and I didn't bring the Batman that goes with it, but I got it. It's normally like a $40, $50 set. I got it for $18.76. I think it's 26 right now on Amazon. So always check the deals. Now, I'm going to jump to another thing. Another thing I don't like, which I really don't want to take this rubber band off because I'm sure it's going to fall off, but hopefully we can put it back on. I don't like McFarlane going cheap and using face plates. Instead of head sculpts, where you just pop the head off and put another one on, they decided to put this little rubber band on here because people were complaining about the faceplate falling off in the box. So they said, oh, we'll fix that. We'll just put a rubber band on it. But if you take this rubber band off, and it did come with 2 other face plates, but you just pop the face plate off and put another one on. And I don't like this at all. I've actually got a platinum figure that's sitting over there looking like this right here because the faceplate fell off. So we complain about it. What does McFarlane do? No, we ain't going back to giving you head sculpts. We'll just put a rubber band on it. That's how we fix it. But I don't know. If you're a fan of the faceplates, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know. I am definitely not a fan of the faceplates. I didn't mind it when Hasbro did it on the Kang figure because it was just basically like the chin part. But other than that, I am not a fan. I'm probably going to have to fool with that later, but that'll hold for now. Look like he's got a breathing tube, you know. He got his oxygen going. You like the faceplates, Chris? Man, I don't like the faceplates at all. I'd rather have a full head sculpt switch. Now, Hasbro doesn't have this, but DC does. DC has the platinum. I like the idea of platinums. Oh, okay. Yeah, but man, I just don't like the faceplate. But they have this thing, like I showed before, called a platinum. Now, I know some people really don't care for it. I kind of do in a way. I like the hunting for the platinums, but it seems here lately they've been putting out a lot more platinums than they do sometimes the regular ones. So I don't know how much that's really supposed to be like a chase figure or anything. But here's another soft goods cape. And this Power Girl did come with a flight stand. That's another thing, difference between DC and Marvel. DC comes with stands. I'll just grab one right here off of this guy. But they come with these little stands right here. Every one of them comes with a stand. Now, every now and then, on a flying character, you do get a flight stand, which I think you should get a flight stand in every character that flies. I mean, especially with the price points that we're paying, it's not costing you that much, bro. I'm just saying. Now, another thing. Now, here's another figure. And a lot of these, both Hasbro and DC have this problem sometimes. The ankles are too loose. This one is really kind of too loose. But other than that, it is a great figure. But see how loose it is? But look at the soft goods tattered cape. I mean, so I'm not sitting here trying to bash these companies. I want them to do better. I'm still buying the stuff anyway. So, for the most part. Now we'll get down to a little bit on the vehicles. Now this is a Batman cycle. I think it was from the vampire dude is Batman, which I heard they're making a second one. Good Lord. But that's another topic for another day. But at least this one does have steering. Now, it's kind of a pain in the butt, and they don't really look good sitting on the bike the way they're all hunched over. I think it's made too far out, but that's just me. But with Marvel, which we paid what, 50, 60 bucks for this, and typical Hasbro, they don't give us any steering. Oh, you got handlebars, but you just can't steer the thing. But it does look freaking amazing though. And you get the effects to go with it. There's also another effect that you can like have him setting up like a wheelie that's got flames coming out of it. But yeah, for some reason Hasbro even does that on G.I. Joe Classified so far, no steering. Even though the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified motorcycles have steering. Conspiracy? I don't know. But that's some of the ins and outs and the goods and the bads. But tell me in the chats, if you have one choice, are you getting Hasbro Marvel Legends or are you getting DC Multiverse McFarlane? Not that they don't both have good stuff all the way around. And I like DC and Marvel. I got more into DC once the new 52 came out. But I did another video on this on my TikTok if y'all want to check that out. Talking more, a few things bad about this figure. But if you just look at it, it looks great. DC because Batman is better. Well, here's another issue I have. And I understand why they do it. It's just like Mattel does Hogan. But good Lord, how many Batmans can we do? I mean, I'm getting overloaded with Batman because I still keep wanting to buy them. I guess that's because they look so cool. They know we're still going to buy them. Here's a Batman Beyond. Now, this is a technique some of them started using that I like. Is they put a molded weapon into their hands, which you could switch it out and just put a regular hand. But I like when they do this and put the little weapon molded in their hand. So it's got like a little batarang molded inside the hand. That is really cool. Got the little wings on the back here. But pretty cool figure too. That one of the things with DC though, these underoos that they be having them wear, they get in the way a lot. See that? The stretchy underoos. Underoos. See, now you can't get his foot up that high. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to dog either company. I would hope that they see this and just take some from it. I would like to promote and review a lot of their products, but I'm going to tell it like it is. That's just how I am. Now, this is G04, one of the ugliest characters in the DC multiverse. Especially the Green Bay Packer colored one that was the platinum. But if you're a fan of the character, maybe you dig it more than I do, but I still bought it anyway, so who's got the problem? Me. But let me see if there's anything. Okay. I want to talk on some stuff right here. Now, I talked about the animals again. They did give it a soft, good cape, but no articulation whatsoever. I think you need to work on that. I want to go back to Hasbro for a minute. I was going to talk about lack of accessories, and we've always complained about this. So this is Hasbro's solution. Hasbro said, you want more accessories? I'm going to give you more accessories. I'm going to give you this cool looking Spider-Man with all kinds of heads and effects and webbing, but you're going to pay $50 for it. Now, am I really mad at Hasbro or am I mad at myself? Because I did buy it. And I think a lot of us did. And it's really a shame because all we're doing is we're fueling them, and that's what we're going to get. We're probably going to get 3 or 4 of these different figures a year. We got a Spider-Man. Then we're going to get Wolverine. Then we're going to get Iron Man. Then we're going to get Maximum Captain America. And, you know, that's $50. So if you get 4 a year, that's $200 we're out right there. Now, it just I'm mad at myself and upset at all of us, but we want the figure so bad that we end up paying the money anyway. So in the long run, they win. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest Spider-Man guy, but I let it go for one day, and then the second day I went and bought it, which I'm glad I did because I think it sold out pretty much everywhere. But if you're still looking for it, I think Toy Wiz still had it. Yeah, I don't even know if Nerd Zoic still has it. But check them out. Check them out. But it looks really cool, and I want to get it because I didn't want to be left out because I want to get this and review it. Now, do I think this thing is worth $50? No, I do not. I think at the most 35, $40. You know, I think I wouldn't even be too mad to pay $39.99. But $49.99 is just a little excessive. You know? But y'all let me know. Do y'all think the price is too high for what we're getting? Or do you want to wait till you get it in hand before you make your decision? I don't know when we're supposed to get these. I'm pretty sure it's going to be at least, 3 months, 2 months, 3 months down the line. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I think that was about the last thing I wanted to really touch on. Oh, except for, now to me, this is just my opinion. On the DC Multiverse, I don't agree with getting the cards in there. Some people may think it's cool. I don't really care about the card. I could care less about the card. I would rather have another little accessory in its place, or even take the card and the stand and just give me a flight stand in every one. But I don't know. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if you like the cards. 2 if you don't. I think it's just a waste to me. I know some people might keep them and put them in the little binders or whatever. Now, maybe if you're card collectors, but I'm not really a card collector anymore. So, to me, it's just a waste. But, I mean, they both have their good points, their bad points. But at the end of the day, we all love action figures. So get what you love, whether it's Hasbro, whether it's McFarlane, whether it's Mattel, Jada, Jazzwares, whatever it is. Get the figures and enjoy it. You can always get on here and make a video, make a show, and complain about it like I do. But I just try to give you my tips, my opinions, whether they matter to you or they don't. That's on you. But I'd like to hear in the comments, you don't even have to put it now. If you want to go back on the video when it comes out and put your comments in. If you have any suggestions for topics, anything like that, please let me know. I want this to be a very interactive show. The next one topic is going to be breaking down AEW. We'll come up with another topic so y'all can choose. But I'll try to get that together and post hopefully by tomorrow maybe. But I've been running a little late. And yeah, I know there's no value in them, but it like I said, if you're a card collector, you may like them, and that's fine. There's not an issue with that. Just I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? So it depends on the masses what they like, and I guess enough people like it, so it's still there. Um, but that's about all I got for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank everybody who came in, stopped in, commented, liked, wooty woo, whatever, hanging out with me. This is a weekly thing. We will be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. We did go a few minutes over the 30 minute. Like I said, we do have up to an hour we can use, but I want to try to keep them in between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on the topic. Because now I got to spend time putting all these figures back up, plus doing other stuff. But I thank everybody. Appreciate y'all coming in. We the ones. And I'll see you next week. And I may be leaving, but I'm still that uncultured heathen.